Sri Lanka has made a dramatic recovery since the depths of its 2022 economic crisis. Growth rebounded to 5% last year. Interest rates have fallen and foreign reserves have climbed to more than $6.5 billion. The road ahead is far from smooth. Poverty is high, structural reforms are still underway, and meanwhile, there are new U.S. tariffs. CNA's Roland Lim spoke with Sri Lanka's central bank governor Nandalal Weerasinghe on his outlook for the country's economy.
What's important is to look at how we have achieved this recovery from contraction of over 7% in 2022 and started the recovery from second half of 2023, second half and 2024 full year 5%. This year first half also it will be close to 5%. Based on the IMF expectation for us to maintain the sustainability, we had to grow at least 3% medium to long term. But now already we have been almost close to 5%. Going forward, I think if we can achieve at least 4 to 5%, we will be reaching our targets much faster than what we thought. So the challenges obviously are, we need to maintain the same momentum implementing important reforms going forward. One important is to achieving the stability. Overall macro stability has been now achieved. We need to preserve and gains that we achieve stability going forward. That's a fundamental necessity for us to maintain the price stability, financial stability, fiscal consolidation, and debt sustainability. Those are the key pillars of macro stability. This is essential for us to maintain that stability going forward. Growth will be based on the foundation of stability. So for us to achieve growth, there are challenges obviously. Then you need to have structural reforms implemented rightly and timely manner for us to expand the capacity of the country to grow faster than what we think, what we see now.
So since the economic crisis of 2022, we've seen higher taxes, we've seen market-linked energy prices, we have interest rates rising up to 30% from 9% previously. These are all big shifts.
Of course.
How do you think that the Sri Lankan economy has truly stabilized? Businesses and households now feel that it's healthier and they're willing to spend again?
Yeah, I think they are better than compared to the crisis year. But they are not yet, in terms of household incomes, business incomes, they are not yet reached the level that they had before the crisis, that I have had. Because once country hit with a crisis, it will take at least 4 to 5 years to come back to the same level, recover the output loss. In our case, within 3 years, we have almost reached there. In my view, within next year or so, we will obviously reaching more than the levels in terms of employment, the poverty, incomes and cost of living. And incomes will be comparable with the high cost of living within next couple of years. So basically, which means within 3 to 5 years, we will be able to reach levels where we were before. That's the path we think. It's not a quick fix. Once you lost the output, it will take some time to recover with all the reforms. It will take some time, but I think we have made a progress faster than what anyone expected earlier.
The new 20% tariffs on your apparels and garment industry, that's a big hit to your exporters. How much damage could this cause in terms of foreign earnings as well as jobs, local jobs in Sri Lanka? And how quickly do you think you can pivot to other markets for your products?
Now, this 20% tariff, if we compare the first announcement 2nd of April by President Trump, it was 44% for Sri Lanka. Then we negotiated down to 30% a month ago, and final announcement was 20%. So 20% is the status quo compared to our competitors or similar countries, those who are exporting to the US market. Say, for example, Indonesia, Vietnam, Bangladesh, all are almost same levels. So we are not worst off. But in our view, we are in the same position as we were before the April tariff announcement compared to other countries. Obviously, level is high. The high level of tariffs would probably part can be absorbed by our businesses, exporters, part will have to be absorbed by the supply chain in the US. That's how they have to manage it. But still, in terms of comparison, we are not worse off. compared to where we were. We actually, in terms of sometimes when you look at it, we are sometimes better off compared to some, for example, India and China as are having higher level of tariffs. There could be some trade diversion happening. If that continues in this way, there will be opportunities. There will be better opportunities for our exporters, given we are at 20% compared to other countries. So in our expectation, there is no downward revision, or there's no downward kind of expectation in terms of growth, foreign exchange earnings at the current levels. But what is uncertain is that whether these things can change. For example, yesterday, US announced that another 3 months basically was given to China to negotiate further. No one knows the outcome of that negotiation. So we have to closely monitor. Right now, we are in a better position, in my view, than compared to where we were.